I'm the Reverend Dr. J. Anthony Lloyd. I pastor Greater Framingham Community Church. And celebrating will be 33 years in April. Originally from Philadelphia, North Philadelphia. Let's be clear here.
So we're here celebrating Black History Month, and we just like to know from you what Black History Month means to you, either as a pastor or a community member.
Well, Black History Month is an important time, I think. I want to first and say it's not so much that it's a month as it is the importance that it is a celebration that we do all year long. As someone mentioned a couple of weeks ago, saying Black history is an American history. It means a great deal because, one, it's important, I think, for us to understand what our history is. It's important that we pass it on to the next generation. That's so important to me. So my kids in my church, my young people, it's important for them to understand what that history is. Partly is that, as the old axiom goes, don't forget where you came from. We need to know where we come from, and in doing so, we're able to navigate the times that we live in right now. This year in our celebration in terms of Black History Month, I've been a big push on the importance that, especially in the toxicity of the environment we're in right now, is that I cannot rely on others to tell our story. We've got to tell our story. And that's important to me, and that's been our focus this year. So that means I've been trying to tell the story.
Telling the story could be difficult at times for folks, for young people, people that have experienced trauma, have lived experiences. What are ways that you would potentially suggest people to help empower their voices, or ways they can help get their story out there?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is that you come to terms with who you are, and that's important. So that means your sense of identity. I shared recently with a group of staff saying, we engage in this larger society where it's not just now that it's been hostile to what the story is. That's nothing new. It's around. But knowing who you are and not being apologetic about it. The other part of it is that really healing happens because we confront it, not because we deny it, run from it. And we don't always talk about it, but I think the real danger today is that those who want to deny the history, to rewrite the history, or running from the history, or saying somehow I don't want to talk about it because I'm going to feel guilty about it. And yet what I understand, change happens when I confront that which is uncomfortable. And that gives the impetus for growth to take place in our lives and in society as well. And the other part of it, I think shared just recently, is that, you know what? Let's celebrate it. Hey, the reality is that there's an element of resilience that people have. And maybe we don't give our children and our young people enough credit on resilience that they bring to the table.
As a professional, as a leader in this space, what's something you'd give those young people looking to get into the professional space, to help build themselves up as an African American, as a Black leader looking to excel themselves? What's one piece of advice that you'd leave them with?
Well, outside of the fact of them coming to terms with who they are, who God made them to be, the second one is the importance of, how shall we say, aligning ourselves with someone that is larger than who we are. It's important. We want to be aspirational in this quest to make a difference in the space that we operate in. So therefore, we don't do it alone. As much as the adage says, it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a village to navigate all that we're going through. And I mean, the nature today in terms of civil rights, we have lots of folk who are heroes of the faith, heroes of the struggle, and we need to honor that. Spending some time with somebody who is doing something in the field, getting to know them, that's probably one of my greatest moments, is I spend time pouring myself into a young adult or a youth and helping them to understand what is going on, how I navigated it, how I got to where I was. That's important. The second thing I think also would be the importance of not only do we seek to open the door, but to keep it open for others to come behind us. It's important that we have allies and understanding. Last Sunday, I said to folk, you know what? I have a difficulty with people who are sometimey allies,
Mm.
and they're allies only when it fits their agenda or when they're comfortable, and that is just unacceptable. It really is. So we don't do this alone, and the space that you operate in, and the point for which we go through some things. But as we go through it, we sit down with a mentor, someone else, and say, okay, let me process what I just went through. What was that encounter that I had in that space? What was, that kind of thing? And that is what empowers people. And I think that's important.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all that you do for the community, whether it's the African American community, the marginalized community, or just helping uplift young people. We really appreciate what you've done here in the past 30 plus years, and we hope to continue to see that for another 30 plus years or so.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
the opportunity to share.